asked for help and you guys came through. I'm trying to dupe my favorite discontinued eyeshadow palette from Too Faced, the Too Faced Boudoir Eyes palette. These are all the pans I hit before I even knew project panning was a thing, and I've always wanted to get another one of these palettes, but unfortunately it just doesn't exist anymore. In this video, I'm going to show you guys all the full palette dupes that were recommended to me, and in the next video, I'll show you individual shades. If you are okay with a large palette, the Colourpop Stone Cold Fox has all the shades and more. This is like if the Boudoir Eyes and Morphe had a baby. You would get this palette. You get those really pretty taupey shades, you get those shimmers that are really, really pretty up here. While they're not shade for shade dupes, overall, this palette can give you the same vibe. Jumping from Colourpop to Natasha Denona, I think this was the #1 recommended palette in that last video. This is the Natasha Denona Glam palette, and this was one of the only Natasha Denona palettes I didn't already own. I do have a large collection, so I knew I had to pick this one up. And again, it does give you those vibes, other than, you know, the kind of random like gold that you get up here. That's not necessarily a dupe, but the shades right over here, these shimmers, you've got the shimmer right here. Up here, you've got those light shades, those mattes. This, again, I personally would rearrange this, but for the purpose of this video, I wanted to show you what this palette looks like when you buy it. Again, it can give you those vibes. Let me know if you want to see me rearrange this palette, because I like to rearrange all my Natasha palettes. All right, and last but not least, the #1 dupe I was able to find in full palette form is from Flower Nose. First off, this duped not only the shades, but the packaging. Part of why I loved the Too Faced palette is because of the way it was packaged. I loved the theme. I love the design of this. I love like the kind of like satin faux background here. I love, you know, just like everything about it feels like a little boudoir. And I love the tin packaging and everything on this. So I wanted to dupe not only the shades, but the vibes the packaging was giving me. And Flower Nose goes above and beyond with their packaging. Look at this. And then you open it up. Look at that. Not only are these shades really freaking close to the palette, the packaging is gorgeous. This reminds me of the feeling I felt when I first opened that Too Faced palette. Now, the packaging makes it a little hard to hold these up side by side like this, but you can just see. Again, it's not a shade by shade dupe, but overall, this is the closest I have found in a single palette. So if I had to pick just one actual existing palette to dupe the Too Faced palette, it would be this one. And this is from Flower Nose Beauty. This is their Little Angel Collection 9-shade eyeshadow palette in #1, Eden's Angel. I'm actually excited that you can now buy Flower Nose Beauty on Ulta and on Amazon, so I'll have this linked everywhere I can find it, but it's also available on the TikTok shop. Stay tuned for the next video where I show you all of my single shadow shade for shade dupes.